David, here's a hypothetical for you. I am a store clerk, and you came in because you wanted a return on your dish soap. Ready? Go.
Hello, sir. I purchased this dish soap from your store yesterday.
All right, talk like you're not an NPC, please.
Unfortunately, it's not the one that I needed, and so I have to return it with my receipt.
All right, sir. Please just provide your receipt, and I'll get that all sorted for you.
Certainly, sir. It is right here in my wallet.
Sir, this is a receipt for Dave & Buster's.
Oh shit! I dropped my wallet! Just give me a second! He just bends down to pick up the wallet.
Oh no, he bends down and he slams his head on the fucking counter.
Wait. Ow!
Oh no, I was about to go like...
Oh.
Like, oh! Motherfucker! God damn it. Piece of monkey shite.
If you won't accept my Dave & Buster's gift card, then I am going to give you the shittiest Yelp reviews your store has ever seen. You fucked with the wrong one, bitch.
Okay, sir. That is entirely up to your prerogative. But if there's anything else you don't need us security, can you please, cartoon-esque wise, like, toss him the fuck out of here? Yes. I will do that. And then you just hear like the Looney Tune sound effects go off when you go thrown out the door. Anyways, guys, yeah, that was our hypothetical. That was that's me.
Best improv. Best way to open up improv
of 2023, and I am so fucking tired. Like, holy Jesus, mother titty fucking Christ, like...
Is it 'cause you were pissing too close to the center of the bowl, boy? I'm sick of waking up in the middle of the night like you're frying chicken in there, boy. You gotta piss on the side, boy. It sounds like I'm walking into a damn KFC when I walk into the bathroom at night.
Shut up, you stupid chicken, before I fucking kill you and eat you.
You remember that scene in Looney Tunes where, like, he's just walking up to fucking Sylvester or whatever, and he just, like, slaps him on the face with the bucket? He's like, well, that's mathematics, son. You ever just think about how fucking rude that was? Like, not even, like, just slapstick humor. Imagine if someone walked up to you and, like, not even angry at you, they're just, like, hit you square in the face with their palm. They're like, that's mathematics, son. You can argue with me, but you can't argue with figures. Two have-nothings is a whole nothing.
Bro, I would tear them apart. Like...
Foghorn Leghorn would kick you. He'd beat you up.
No.
Foghorn Leghorn would beat you in a fight.
No.
But he's huge!
Yeah, he's huge, but one good kick to the dick is like all it takes, really.
Does he have a dick?
He's a cock.
Alright, welcome to the Double D Experience.
Actually,
Dennis is embarrassed and tired.
Embarrassed and tired and so done with today, honestly. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if, like, any of y'all have recently, at least, had to wake up at 3 in the fucking morning for whatever reason. Man, I'm just not young anymore.
Dude,
I was
same.
so cranky and irritable that morning.
Dude.
Everything pissed me the fuck off. Like, it was just so bad. Anyone could have breathed wrong and I would have yelled at them.
I was out till 3 in the morning, and I feel like shit now. Granted, pretty sure one of my friends at the tournament last night was sick. Literally blamed his coughing that he was doing on the fucking Canada fires. Okay, bro. Like, alright, sure. The air quality out here is pretty good now. Alright? So, shut the fuck up. Can't tell. I think he was half joking. I don't know. But he was covering his mouth and shit, but whatever.
Does he watch the show?
I don't give a fuck if he does. And, basically, like, I was out till 3, like, we were just playing games at the Helix Esports Center, doing our shit or whatever. It's like, I didn't have a drop of alcohol last night or anything. But you want to know how I know I'm getting old, Dennis?
How?
I woke up feeling like I was fucking hungover today. My
Like
throat hurt, my head was pounding, face was warm and everything.
Internally and externally, everything just felt like shit.
Yeah,
like,
I literally feel I feel hungover if I just lose some sleep. That's how I know I'm getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
I mean, to be fair, sleep was never not important. I just think that when we were younger, like, this sounds like such fucking, like, you know, I remember my good old days type of talk, like as if we're in senior homes already, like as if our good old days were already long gone. But what I'm saying is that, like, bro, I wake up sometimes wishing like I would give up my firstborn if I didn't have to get up today. Like, that's how bad it'd be sometimes. And like, granted, I know a lot of people they run on like 8 hours of sleep typically, but for me, like, I run on 6, and I think that's terrible. Like, I get up at 6 hours, and then I'm just kind of like, all right, time for the day to start. But it's like, I know, like, my body is like wishing, like, I really want to go back to sleep, but it's like, just the way like my schedule is, and like I go to the gym early in the morning, it's like I have to do it, and I have to get up. But there's like so many times when I'm at the gym, like I'd yawn like every 5 minutes.
Dude, I don't know what happened, but like when I'm at the gym, like my motivation to be there, probably because I haven't like made any good progress in a while, like I yawn so much in between my sets now, I feel like I get tired a little bit more fast. Now, granted, I do full body workouts every time I'm there, but like, still, like, I get that way too. And as far as sleep goes, if I don't get enough sleep, it's not even a matter of crankiness for me. Like, I'm fine with the crankiness. It doesn't affect my emotions. I feel physically sick when I'm on no sleep. Like, I literally feel like I have a cold now, but I don't. Like,
I'm the same way.
I was stuffy, I had a headache, everything. I feel like I just woke up and I'm sick. And I feel like okay now, like decent, but like when I woke up, oh my god, literally just because I went to bed at a DGen hour. And then sometimes when I do that is when I get the not analysis paralysis, whatever the opposite of like analysis paralysis is, where you can't shut your brain off. And I'm just constantly thinking about everything, and I can't close my eyes without feeling like it's spinning a little, or thinking about the cow that won the election, or some shit like that. If you remember that story, that happens to my brain like occasionally. Like my family, if we know we have to wake up early, it just gets that way. It's part of the reason I'm not an early bird. It's because when I wake up early, it gives me a little vertigo sometimes. Like it makes me like anxious, if that makes any sense.
It's even worse when you wake up and there's no sunlight out.
I hate that. Yeah. I hate that. That fucks
I'm so used to waking up in the darkness that I'm just kind of like, you know, I just like, okay, just go with the motions and just get my clothes out of my drawer and just put them on and then just leave. Like, and just go through it. Like, before I used to hate it, and like I've had jobs where I was literally working like stupidly early in the morning. Like when I was back working at Amazon, I was like, my shift was like 4:30 in the morning to 8.
Yeah.
And like I got, at the very least, there was never any traffic on my way there, so I just sped through 46. It was that the Teterboro one. I just sped through 46, and there was even one time that like I think I ran a red light, and I just did not care because it was like there's nobody out, and I would never do it again. But it was just kind of like, there was some days where I just did not give a fuck. Like I just went and just shuffled through the 4 hours and just went back home. Like it was just, that's how bad it was.
Working mega corporation at DGen hours will do that to you eventually, where the fucks you give become the fucks you no longer take.
I even let them fire me because I ran out of like PTO, and there was like days that I just didn't show up, and eventually they just emailed me saying, hey, by the way, are you gonna come back? And I'm like, because they literally were like, I think it was like just kind of it's like, hey, are you coming back sort of feel like, or is this like some personal shit you're going through or whatever? And I was just like, no, I'm not coming back. He was like, okay. And then they just sent me a follow-up email like 2 seconds later saying, you have been terminated from Amazon.
You're a gamer
so
for
I was
that.
like, oh, okay.
Did they have to pay you a severance for that?
They paid me for the amount of days or the amount of hours that I worked for the week. So at the very least, they sent me like a check for that, and then that was it. Like,
okay, they would have done that if you quit anyway. So
yeah.
Okay, gamer.
But it was just kind of like they did compensate me for the hours that I worked. So because like they don't want a lawsuit on their hands. That's what everyone kind of does. But
all right. Well,
early morning sucks is all I'm saying, guys.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of it. I mean, I would probably do it now if it meant I could have like a decent job, which I mean, I guess I could talk more about that later, but yeah, you know, just going as long without working as I have, but whatever, more effort. But in the meantime, I do have a topic planned for today that I had in mind.
Go ahead.
Okay. I I guess I'm not like too vocal about it since I never really competed in the scene up until recently.
Yeah.
I
got your toes wet.
Yeah. I actually really, at least casually, liked Mortal Kombat. Like I've like
explain the context, like what you did, where you went, and all that. Like how the like kind of just a little intro, like as to like maybe your first couple hours like being in that scene.
Well,
I'm actually very curious.
Yeah, I've casually liked Mortal Kombat for a real long time, and a place called the Helix Esports Center, which is very near me, where a lot
Union
of my
City.
Yeah, where a lot North Bergen actually, or a lot of my
same shit.
A lot of
Hudson County.
Yeah, where a lot of my friends there work. Right, I've gone to Smash tournaments there for years. I've casted many a tournaments there. I've worked majors there before. Majors and regionals for Smash and stuff like that. They had a Mortal Kombat tournament there last week recently as like a sort of a send-off to Mortal Kombat 11 because Mortal Kombat 1...
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, because Mortal Kombat 1's coming out in a couple of months, and so they wanted to do like a nice like send-off tournament for MK11, and it got a pretty good amount of entrants. I can't even lie. Like, there was one dude who was playing me, and I told him, like, I'm super casual, man, so, like, I'm sorry if I'm not the best practice. He's like, it's okay, me too. And then he flawlessed me. And then after, like, doing that twice, he told me, it's like, I gotta keep it a buck with you, man. I'm not a casual. I'm like, you're not? Really? And that dude came there from Boston.
No fucking way.
Boston. He said he was on no sleep. He's been up for 25 hours chugging G Fuel and shit and was on like a 4-hour bus on the way over.
Oh, so you know he crashed the fuck out. Like, he crashed like as soon as he...
my friend. And it got a surprising amount of entrants. Like, I was really happy with how it did. So my friend Marcy was running it. Shoutouts to Marcy. And so I decided very last minute, like the day of the tournament, fuck it. I'd like to enter it. Even though I had played Mortal Kombat 11 for 2 days. 2 days.
Wait, that's no all meme. The hours. That's all the hours that you got clocked in.
Didn't even finish the story mode.
But I mean, if we're thinking competitively, story really don't matter.
But yeah, but I mean, it's decent practice for a noob. At least.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna test yourself competitively, it's supposed to be online.
Oh yeah, well yeah. I mean, I wasn't ready for that though. I had no fundamentals. So, like, I had to at least learn the fucking game first and shit.
You literally rolled up in there with, like, a guy who just started boxing, but it's like, he didn't even know how to throw a punch yet. He just guesses, like, it's like, oh, I just have the shorts and gloves, and you're like,
I kind of just wanted to say that, like, yeah, I entered an MK11 tournament. And, like, I went
for,
in...
like, brownie points for whoever, I guess.
I don't know, just to try something else, or maybe try commentating if I felt like it, even though I don't feel like I was ready to do that either, even though I know enough of, like, some of the fighting game terms, but I'm not ingrained enough in the Mortal Kombat scene yet to really feel like I can effectively commentate, and I'm not about to hop on and ruin a stream. So, yeah. So, I went there, my friend Marcy's running it, nice fun tournament, I had like some controller issues because I literally didn't even have a fucking controller. I've been playing MK11 on a Switch Pro controller.
Oh, okay.
And I wasn't about to bring that shit because I didn't have an adapter or whatever. Like, I didn't even know how the controllers worked.
You might have been laughed off stage if you brought that.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. Some people are so snobby with their controllers. It's like, at least for Smash players, like they... Again, this is me as an outsider looking in. I always just see everyone just kind of running with GameCube controllers, even if, like... I mean, GameCube controllers also are maybe not the most ergonomic fucking thing in the world, but it's like every person that I've seen who's played Smash, like it's always been like a GameCube at least esque controller.
Because the game was designed for it. It was because the game was literally designed around it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Yeah, that's just how it goes. I mean, it's not ergonomically good for your hands in the long run, but Ultimate is not the most technical game in the world. Melee is a different story, but, you know, yeah. And there's some people who play Melee with box controllers, so... But yeah, I'm rambling on a little too much. My head, yeah, some people do that. My head is... Sorry, my head's a little clouded today. So,
mine too. Don't worry. We're both a little clouded.
Yeah.
A little hazy.
We get a little hazy on this show. So I went in, and I fully expected to get bodied. Like, I can't even lie. But I did not expect to get fucked that hard.
Over the table.
Yeah, man. It was like in front of like the whole room and everything. My first opponent, we were like, even like talking to each other during the match, like, and he was beating me, but it wasn't that bad. I was at least able to get a couple combos off and shit. But my losers round opponent, I couldn't play the fucking game. Like, it was
Oh, really?
so bad. And it's usually the other way around. It's usually like if you're a noob, you get put against the good players at first because you don't have a high seed yet. And then you play like the first person who went to losers like immediately if you're already in the losers bracket, and they lost their round 1 too. So they're usually worse. But I had a harder time against that guy. Like, straight up. So, but
Maybe
point
the
is,
level of competition was just that high then.
yeah, point is, the reason I'm bringing this up is because, you know, I'm a Smash player, and yeah, the competition level was high. I'm primarily, or was it primarily, a Smash player, right? And a Smash commentator at that. I haven't entered an Ultimate tournament in almost 3 years. So, here's what I'm about to say about my first FGC event.
Well, in comparison, let's say, to Smash then.
Yes.
Okay.
1, I noticed there were way more women.
Woo!
Which is as unsurprising as it is sad.
Wait, women,
granted,
players?
Granted, none of them were competitors. I think they were all dudes' girlfriends and shit. But granted, I've seen women compete in FGC games before. 2, Mortal Kombat is fucking hard. Jesus Christ. I expected to get bodied, but I did not expect to have my asshole proudly presented for the entire venue over the table like that. They almost put me on stream, by the way. And I literally told them, no, do not do that. I'm completely, just don't. It would have been funny as shit, don't get me wrong. But fuck, like, at least, like, have somebody gain, like, some of the fundamentals before this. I entered this tournament when I was not ready to, but I was just trying to have fun. And shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And granted, the better you get at FGC games, the better of a Smash player it makes you, and the better of a caster it makes you on top of that, to just have, like, just raw fundamentals on display, like, for just base FGC games, because Smash is the weird fighting game. That's the non-traditional one, of course. It's a platform fighter. It literally spawned a new genre of fighting game. So that's sort of the weird one. And it's funny, because I get so in my own head about it, right? Because I was, like, so in my head after the tournament, I'm like, bro, I could never get good at this. There's so much I have to know, holy shit. And every fighting game player I talk to there, they're like, dude, that's how I feel about Smash. Like, Smash is so weird to me. Like, I never know where to be at the right time because there's, like, a different vertical plane or whatnot. It's like, you have to know, like, the same amount of stuff, but it's just very different stuff. It's the same grind. It's the same way to get better at something. And there are some similarities between the two, but they are just two very, very, very different things. And the way that they apply to each other is so, like, non-parallel, if that makes any sense. Like, because I know, I can understand how people would feel that way about Smash Brothers, you know, like, they just get overwhelmed so easily, but, like, it's so ingrained in me at this point, to the point where, like, I've been playing the game so long, like, I feel like I would have to try to really be bad at Smash at this point, if that makes any sense. And so fighting games are just, like, a whole different ballpark with that, because it's a whole different grind, if that makes any sense. I feel like I'm not doing a good job at, like, explaining it right now, but, if it makes any sense, it's just the fundamentals are completely different. Let's go with that. Like, it's very different fundamentals, so you feel like you have to, like, relearn everything, even though there are some transferable skills between the two, if that makes any sense. Like in Mortal Kombat, like, the biggest thing for me was, when you do combos in that game, I was trying to hit the buttons as the moves come out. And that isn't even how you're supposed to do it. Like, you buffer the buttons, and then you can, like, do something called special move canceling, where, like, you're able to instantly do your character's special move out of a normal combo. And I'm like, how do you do that? Like, you have to time it completely right? No, you don't. You do the combo first, and then you just let your character do it. Like, the buffer is that strong, and then you do the special move into it. Smash is not like that, and that's the biggest thing for me. When you do a move, the move just comes out, and then you have to do the move again as it comes out. It's not, there's a buffer, but you don't buffer it so far in advance to the point where, like, the combo almost becomes like a sort of cutscene. That was the biggest thing for me, and, like, it just made me feel so overwhelmed at times, where I'm just like, why isn't my combo coming out? I hit it at the right time. Like, you're not supposed to hit it, like, as it comes out, if that makes any sense. And then before you're even able to realize what you did wrong, you're in the corner, getting, like, just corner pressured already, and then you just get so overwhelmed so easily, and that's what makes you think, I will never be good at this. When that's not true, you know?
It's just practice in the end.
Yeah.
Because that's how all these sweat lords, like, then got good as well. They just put, like, thousands of hours into practicing.
And everything I described about being overwhelmed playing Mortal Kombat because I didn't understand what I was doing yet, or didn't understand how the buttons work, is how they feel about Smash. You know, one man's trash is another man's treasure, but I just grew up with shit self-esteem. I mean, I remember when I was younger, like, if I wasn't good at something immediately, like, I would get really upset at it. I ruined some family game nights, like, growing up and shit. Like,
you got mad through flip the table.
Yeah, like, and I've gotten better at that as I've aged. Like, I don't have anger issues or nothing. Like, I didn't get mad at other people. I just got mad at myself. Like, I'm shit, I'm trash, I'm dog-ass, lurker, whatever, even though you've just started doing this. And fighting games can help you improve at that mentality, and I'm very grateful for Smash Brothers for that.
Yeah.
And finally, I saw a lot of harmless banter at this tournament that would have led to a twit longer on Smash Twitter. Full stop.
Oh, I love that. I love
Full
that.
stop. So much shit talk.
like,
the dude who came from Boston was shit talking me.
Shit talking
I played the game for 2 days. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Although it makes good streaming.
Oh yeah, are you kidding? And like,
Yeah,
the amount of
hilarious.
The harmless shit talk became communal. Like that sort of like Bill Burrism where like, you know, like the philosophy we have on the show where we shit talk each other, but it's because we love each other and not because there's genuine hate behind it. So much shit where like it would have become like an issue and now it's a community-wide issue on like Twitter. Like so much like drivel bullshit, like the kind of stuff that like portrays the narrative that like, yeah, Smash players are fucking pussies. You know what I mean? It's like I just saw so much harmless banter that would have led to like some shit like that. And it's like, yeah, granted, don't shit talk like a child or something like that. Don't be weird in that way. But it's like a lot of like harmless like just totally different vibes. And it's so funny too that those vibes are so different. You would feel like that's the community that would be less welcoming to women, or that's the one that women would be less comfortable in. And yet I saw so many more women at this thing than I have at any like Smash local that I've ever seen in my life. It ain't that just a kick in the dick? Ain't that kind of funny when you really think about it?
Yeah, true. Because like I was even thinking like, you know, when you've just also been in a community, or I guess like in this case like in your own bubble for like so long, and then when you finally kind of like venture out and like go into like other communities and like not talking like virtual communities, but like actually like going to these communities and like seeing like how they are.
Yeah, Twitter's not the same thing as when you actually go to
like, or even like a subreddit,
you know?
too. Like it's just like when you go there, when you go to see like these real people. Obviously, yeah, like there's gonna be like, I think obviously some similarities and differences. And for me, even still going to a like a Yu-Gi-Oh locals is still, I think it's maybe just because I'm very introverted that like a lot of times like when I am there like, and you know people are talking, and like at least the one that I go to, like people have been there for so long that like everyone kind of just knows each other like on a first name basis. It's real chill there. I still feel kind of like an outsider going in there because it's like compared to at least a lot of these guys who are regulars, like I just started coming in like recently, and like at least people, 2 guys do know me off of my first name on a first name basis, but like other than that, it's like I see like older dudes and newer guys, or not old, but I guess like regulars, and then like newer guys who come in like every now and then that I go. Usually I go like on Sundays because that's the only time that I have, and I think that's also when tournaments are. But like I was going to another spot a while back in Union City, and obviously like a lot of the guys there, Union City, they're like, you know, a bit street, kind of talk, you know, the way you kind of expect them to, and like I'm kind of like almost the same way as well. But it's like the only reason that I'd stopped going to that one was just because parking was shit, and I have to pay. So like, I would get a ticket, and there was usually no parking up there, period. And it's one of Union City's actually one of their biggest problems. If anyone even trying to visit up there, it's just parking's just ass. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's why I don't do that shit either. Like, there's just nowhere to fucking park anywhere in that entire city. It's so bad.
And like when now I'm going to like this place in Rutherford. The place is real chill. At least there's parking and all that. And I guess like what I'm getting at is that like for me in Yu-Gi-Oh, like this is like the one hobby that like I have never engrossed in myself into anything hobby-wise than this one. This is like my first time really. Like at least when I first started to pick this game up again, like around when COVID hit, like I wasn't thinking like, oh yeah, let's go and take my cardboard, which is like, you know, usually it was shit decks that I was running. I just ran it because like, you know, I was like, oh, this is from like my childhood and shit like that from the anime. And like, you know, and I would get bodied, of course, because it's like, you know, the thing was also with
That's not optimal.
With this game, when you lose, you feel that loss, because it's like sometimes like your opponent doesn't even let you play the fucking game. Like you can't even put a card down to do anything. Like that's how like basically absolute your defeat is sometimes. And I then realized it's just kind of like, you know, just to expand my horizons a bit. And like whenever I lost, I always like, okay, like what could I do better? Again, like because I was the same way as you when I was young back then. Like if I lost, like I would throw a tantrum. Like at least not like maybe not outwardly too much, but like at least inside, like I would literally be like screaming because it's like, oh, you fucking idiot! Like why'd you make that dumb move? Or like why'd you put this stupid card in? Or this or that?
Yeah.
And like, you know, it's not a healthy. I mean, you know, it goes without saying, it's not a healthy mindset.
No.
To have, especially if you're like trying to at least play anything competitively. I mean, I think to a certain extent, it's like if you were at the finals of a competition of any kind and like if you lost, like I would be screaming too. Like who the fuck wouldn't be? If I was this fucking close and if it was a close match and I still ended up losing, of course, like I'd be flipping a shit over it. I'd get over it, but it's just like, you know, like it would eat me up inside that I was this fucking close and I lost. And I remember even telling you this before where it's like in competition, if I lost in the top 16 or like lost in top 32, I'd be like, you know what are you gonna do, right? It's so odd that I feel that way because it's like, but when you get to the semis or then you get to the finals and you lose, it hits so much fucking worse.
You're one of those like getting ninth people is better than getting second.
Just off of at least the feeling you get. Because it's like, I mean, you reach top 16 or top 8. It's like, that's still like pretty fucking good in a game like this where it's like half of it is RNG. It all depends on what you draw. And if you draw shit, well then you're kind of shit out of luck. It's just how it is. And some decks obviously are better than others. And even in a fighting game, some fighters are better than others. Again, it also sometimes takes a good pilot. There's just so many factors that go into it. But at least in a game like this where like, you could play great for the whole tournament. You could still lose like a chump. That's how it is with this game. And it is almost like low-key masochistic that like so many people still play this even knowing that because it's like your skill almost like means nothing in a way. Like you could be a great player. You could know the ins and outs of the mechanics of the game. You could know the ins and outs of your deck. But if the RNG gods do not smile on you, you're just fucked, and that's it. Like, it's way different for, I think, a fighting game where it's like, it does, like, skill is probably 99% of it. I was like, yeah, sure, luck may play into it because it's like, okay, your opponent might fuck up, and you could exploit that, sure. But it's like, that's not what you're,
Which
like,
is still skill at the end of the day.
Oh,
it
no,
means
that's what
that
I mean.
their
If you could
skill
exploit
was
it.
like, their skill faltered for a second. That's
So
not
if you-
even luck.
Yeah, and if you could exploit it there, that is skill right there.
Yeah.
But it's like, but when you play a game where it's like you are praying that you get the cards you need in a game where you only draw one out of, let's say you're playing a deck of like 60, run them numbers. It's not that high that you'll draw what you need. It's just not. It's just not.
When luck is part of the fundamentals, it's like how mad can you get?
Yeah.
Kind of makes me think of like competitive poker players because like poker is like so much more of a complicated game than it looks. Believe it or not, there's actually way more skill involved in that game than you would think based on how it goes. But it's obviously also a luck-based game at the end of the day. But apparently there's some things in that game to be expected that we don't understand. Fighting games, though, on the other hand, there's really three things when it comes to just like actually improving at a fighting game. That is practice, obviously playing the game, practicing it, labbing your combos, which that's one thing. That's one reason that I do think objectively, like FGC games are harder than Smash, even though there's arguments that the opposite is true. When in reality, it's probably dead even. That game, you have to lab your combos because like combo execution is like so much more important across the board with most of the characters, I feel, or like pretty much all the characters. Whereas with Smash, I was able to do a lot of work and I barely labbed that game. I played it and practiced it a lot, but I never sat in the training room like, okay, I have to practice these combos because I played Mario. And everything he has combos into itself or like into other things. Like, you know, the characters are just different. Some characters literally require less fundies than others at certain levels of play, like mid-level play and below, before you have to break into the higher echelon and actually like really study up and shit like that. So
Even
that's
looking
kind of
up like combo videos too on YouTube. Like,
yeah, combo videos are usually those weird, cringy, flashy ones, like my Luigi fucks or whatever, or like some.
Oh, I mean, like the ones that are like scientific. It's like, hey, like this is like, or I'm talking mostly in Mortal Kombat, not Smash. Because like thing when you chaining combos in like a Street Fighter-esque type game like Mortal Kombat, and I'm only saying Street Fighter-esque because it's like on a 2D plane and like, you know, it's just, you know, sliding from one side of the stage to the other, not really no knockback or anything like that, or like, you know, knocking off the stage. It's mostly literally just you two killing each other in that little square
Yeah.
and seeing who wins. And when it comes to at least like games like that, and it is even like this was apparent too, like for even like the older Street Fighter games from like Street Fighter 2 even. Like everyone remembers that like famous video where it was like, I think it was like a tournament from like way back when, like early 2000s, and it was like on a projector, and it was like it was Ken versus fuck, I can't believe I forgot her name. The one with the big ass thighs.
Chun-Li.
Chun-Li, yeah. And it was just like the most hype ass match like ever. There was actually no commentary. It was literally just straight up competition. No commentary whatsoever. And it wasn't, and the guy who was recording it, I think it was off of maybe their shitty cell phone camera, or it was like actually like a camera,
in the day.
Or it might have been like a camera on a tripod. Either way, it was like the most hype shit I've ever seen. And I'm only like, you know, and people don't understand that like when you're watching a fight, like you just like you're not really thinking of like the sort of mechanics to the fight at all. Like not really. As an audience member, you're really not thinking about it. You're enjoying the spectacle, if nothing else. But for a lot of these guys that are like playing, they're like running a billion things on like in their heads, and like sometimes a lot of it is also just instinct. Like if you played a game enough, like you know how this character runs, and like you just kind of instinctually already know how to operate them.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, like, you know, especially like this is when you're trying to pick something new up, like a new character that you never played before. And that's when like the learning process starts to happen, where it's like now you know like what not to do with this character and what to do with this character. It's the same for even in this game too, in Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's like, okay, I'm probably never gonna do that again because that was a stupid move and like that cost me everything. Like there is that as well. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that like the learning process of a game is a long one. It's a very long one, and I think kind of people underestimate how long it can take sometimes to even get good.
But it can always be enjoyed.
No, exactly. Absolutely, yeah. If you're learning and having fun, then you're just winning doubly.
Yeah.
With that. But,
practice, knowledge, and mindset. Those are the three things to improving at a fighting game. Yeah. Practice, obviously, putting the time in, labbing combos, just playing the game, going to tournaments, blah, blah, blah. Knowledge, learning about that game, learning the fundamentals, learning how things work, knowing what frames or whatever, or how fast a move comes out, how much lag its recovery frames are, or like how long it lasts, blah, blah, blah. And then mindset, just keeping like a healthy attitude towards the game, taking care of yourself and whatnot, making sure you're in the zone like before you play and whatnot, not blaming your losses on anything but yourself and stuff like that, all that good noise, right? And both things in Smash and FGC can be applied to that, so... I mean, I don't know if there's as much luck involved, like you mentioned earlier, but like...
No, not for fighting games. I don't think there's any luck involved in fighting games. Like, that is all just based on your own practice and how you, like, kind of play.
Might depend on the level of play, but I don't know. I'm not a professional fighting game player. But point is, you can always learn more, and you can always enjoy that process, which is what it's all about at the end of the day. And it might actually help you learn a lot more about yourself. So if you're willing to try, just look up resources online and stuff like that.
Or even ask other community members. Like, oh, hey, like, I'm trying... Like, everyone will be surprised if you're a newcomer going into a community like mine or even David's. Everyone's willing to help. Like, you ask, and we shall giveth to you. Like... There is no, like, I mean, we'll all kind of know that, like, okay, this guy's new, he don't really know what he's doing. Okay, let's just, be kind and, like, just help him out. But, bro, there was even, speaking of that, like, there was this kid that I was playing on my locals. He was, like, just picked up the game, and, like, he literally just, like, cobbled this deck together. And I felt like I was already down 3 losses in that fucking tournament. So I already knew I wasn't going to win, like the whole shebang. But when I was facing this kid, I was just kind of like, oh shit. Like, I'm like, I'm already down 3 and I kind of want to win, but it's like at the same time, like this kid literally just picked up this game. He just picked up his cards and is playing with, at least in my locals, we're low key a bunch of sweat lords, when it comes to the game. So, like, but the whole time, actually, when we were playing, I ended up winning 2-0, but, like, the guy that was next to me, I wasn't playing against him, but the guy next to me who was also playing, he was like giving the kid pointers, like thing as to like, hey, like you can do this and you can do that, you can put this in there, like just giving him a lot of tips, and I was also helping him out too. And like that's also the thing with now I'm trying to talk about like at least the younger generation too. Like sometimes like I've heard a lot of stories where like people literally would, like, for a straight up kid who's a newcomer, I think maybe it's a bit different if you're an adult and you're a newcomer into like, and you're a newcomer coming into a community. But when you're a kid, it's like, come on, like just like go easy on him, if anything, or like at the very least, like teach him, right? Because at the end of the day, like we want these kids like coming into our community, and like we want to help build it up, like, you know, because it always is gonna take like the newer generation as well. Mm-hmm. And I even noticed that like at least for Yu-Gi-Oh, it's not the same as it once was when I was playing way back when I was a kid, where like virtually everyone at the school like had cards, and like everyone was just playing at the playground and stuff. Like I've never, at least, you know, I don't go to middle schools or high schools no more, so it's like, you know, I could only imagine like thinking like, do they still play? Like, do they like even know the game exists? Like, and at least for fighting games, and even talking about Smash and even Mortal Kombat, every fucking kid has a Switch or an Xbox. Like, they're gonna know what the fuck Mortal Kombat and Smash Brothers is. And if I was really also to put numbers on it, I'm pretty sure there's even more kids playing those type of games than Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, for one, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is expensive. It's an expensive ass fucking game. Some cards are ridiculously priced, and like I feel like shit when buying it, but it's like, fuck, I need this. So it's like, okay, like I bite the bullet. But like I know for a kid who barely even has an allowance, if even an allowance at all, he can't pick up these cards. It's way too fucking expensive. Like, absolutely not. Like, you're not gonna pick this shit up. I mean, you could go through boosters and maybe pull it, but that's still gonna cost a shit ton of money at the end of the day. And that's still luck involved as well.
Yeah.
For fighting games, you pick up the game and you practice. That's it.
Yeah, I suppose that is different. I mean, card games can be more expensive, and it's more expensive for a luck-based game. That is wild when you think about it. Smash Brothers, I mean, I gotta keep it a buck. I don't know why people always get like so surprised when like another young quote-unquote prodigy like comes into the Smash community and starts like winning shit. Mm-hmm. Why are people surprised when like a young kid or like a teenager becomes really good at Smash? They don't have a job.
This kid is unemployed.
Yeah.
That's why he's good.
Like, no disrespect, but like I don't get it. It's like
he's got all the time in the world to practice.
If anything, I think it's more impressive when like a 40-year-old like comes through and starts like wrecking people at this shit. Which if it's 40-year-old at a Smash tournament, you might have to watch out for that. That's a little weird. But
yeah, just be careful with that.
Yeah, just be careful, alright. And who just texted me? Alright. Yeah. I say that because there's Syrup, who's one of the best players in New Jersey, like easily like top 3, top 5 or whatever, is a Ness player, Ness and Steve, who came out of the woodwork about a year or couple years ago, like during the pandemic, started playing online and then came through and started doing stuff. And I'm just talking about like, you know, not even in terms of just treating like new players well if they're kids, but like, it's funny, the learning curve is a little bit different. Like, I don't know how many young children like come through the woodworks in like the FGC scene and start wrecking shit, but part of the reason I think Smash is easier is because the game, because of DLC, has characters that fucking carry. I'm sorry, but they do.
That is true.
That is straight up true. Like,
at least for Smash too, every character that had come out before they got patched were always broken. From what I always saw.
We have a Kazuya player who got ranked on the recent power ranking for New Jersey. Had just started playing, like, I'm not even kidding, like that season or like another season ago, if I'm not mistaken. Young kid, I think. A Kazuya player, right? Kazuya, one of the most fucked up characters in Smash Ultimate, like, bar none. Like, I don't know if I've ever told you that. Like, Kazuya's really fucked up in that game. Like, he touch of deaths you, like, immediately, and he has a Electric Wind God Fist, because he's got, like, command inputs, because he's a fighting game character, right? So he's got, like, command... No, there's really no tier 0 in that game.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking, like, how good is he, though? Like,
yeah, and a lot of his buttons are literally just better, and, like, when they beat you out, like, he'll 0 to death you for it. The character's just ridiculous for a lot of reasons. Mm-hmm. He got ranked before he knew what directional influence was.
And what is directional influence?
You know how, like, when you're playing Smash Brothers and you get launched in a direction and you hold in the opposite of that direction or perpendicular to the direction to survive longer?
Yeah.
Like, you can control
to
yourself
stay on
when
the
you
stage,
get launched? Yeah, he didn't know what that was. and he got ranked.
How
he got
high?
within top 15 in the state.
Ooh.
Didn't know what DI was. And I'm not even gonna say, like, that's, like, a testament to, like, him being carried or whatever, but if that's not just proof of, like, how fucking fucked up of a character Kazuya is, then I really just don't know. I don't know what will, if I'm being honest. So, we're nice to him, obviously. It's nothing, like, bad, but, like, or I assume they're nice to him. I don't really play Ultimate much no more. But, yeah. As far as, like, new kids, I mean, I don't understand when, like, the new prodigies come in. See, it's way more impressive for guys like me, the old prodigies, who fucking body people at Street Fighter at that same tournament we were at. Can I tell you that story?
Did you play, like, a side event?
Let me tell you. Okay, so there was some shenanigans that happened at the MK11 tournament, right?
Okay.
Because there was a Street Fighter bracket there as well. Because Street Fighter 6, the brand new one, just came out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, literally last week. And so people are playing the shit out of that.
They're already putting up a game that just came out into
why
a
not?
competitive. I mean, but it should be broken every time upon release.
Yeah, I hear, what is that fucking character?
You need to be patched, like, at least
JP?
once or twice.
JP is that character's name, or I know nothing about Street Fighter. Like, JP or whatever I hear is pretty
I've just seen the
fucked up.
porn. That's it.
Nice. It's got some good porn. Can't even lie.
Porn is good. Porn is good.
I can't even lie. Treat those.
Chun-Li awakened shit in me.
Her fucking thighs are terrifying.
It's
Literally
also
terrifying.
You also just like some just weird part of you is just like, I want to like just, what would it be like just to like touch the thighs? Like just how hard of a fucking rock are they? Like just even just imagining that, like that's like where my mind goes. I'm like, it's like I don't want to do nothing. I just want to like touch.
Just put her to work in the mines, bro. You can cut diamonds with that shit.
Probably cut right to the core of the earth.
Yeah.
For her alone, holy shit.
Either way, Street Fighter tournament was going down. They accidentally put me in the Street Fighter bracket. Like, I didn't sign up for the event. They accidentally
They just
put me
called
in
your name?
Yeah, my name was in the bracket. My name's in the bracket, right?
Did you give them your given name or your
name? Just my tag.
Okay.
One of the TOs there, Lardo, signed me up for the event, and he accidentally signed me up for Street Fighter as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, my buddy AJ eventually points out to me, right, that like, dude, what the hell? Like, you outplaced me, and like, you didn't even play. And we noticed, like, yeah, he got 9th. Like, oh wow, like, I guess there were just a ton of DQs, like a bunch of disqualifications in my path or something like that, and I just kept advancing somehow, even though I was also DQ'd because I didn't show up for the set. And so we're just memeing about it. We're like, yo, I'm nasty at Street Fighter, bro. Let's go, woo! And here's what happened, right? Somebody was playing the game under my tag. Yeah, someone at the tournament was just playing as Nintoonist. See, sometimes what happens when somebody gets accidentally put into a bracket and they don't fill that spot, somebody who's at the door, who doesn't sign up before the tournament, who signs up the day of at the venue, will be like, yeah, you can take the spot because there's a vacant spot. There's no one actually playing in this spot right now. It's not like the tournament capped or whatever. So it said Nintoonist. But in actuality, it was this other dude, like someone who actually played Street Fighter, right? And they knew who it was, and they were going to fix it all later, but for the time being, my name was the one in the bracket. And so me and AJ were like, all right, we got to do something about this. We got to keep this going. There's no way we can fucking meme this, because what happened is this guy kept winning.
Oh.
He kept going. He was still in the bracket, like, set after set as it went on. And then at the end of the day, I don't know who this player was. He got fucking 3rd.
Holy shit.
And so what happened is that people are posting, like, screenshots of it on Twitter. They're like, oh my god, yo, I had no idea Nintoonist, like, was so nasty at Street Fighter.
Nintoonist got podium, bro. Look at that.
And I wasn't denying shit. I was like posting like the sunglasses chips and everything. I'm just like, yeah, yo, I'm fucking nasty with it, dude. Let's go. And my friends were like retweeting it and shit. And like other people were like, yo, I knew he always had that dog in him. All that stuff. People actually thought it was true. And I can confirm that because I spoke with one of my friends at the Smash tournament I was at last night who was like, wait, is that not what went down? We all just
And you
started
had to break
laughing
it to
at
him.
him
He's
again.
like,
We had to
"Nah,
break
bro."
it to him again. Like, little do they know, I have negative fundies. Zero fundamental. I can't even spell fundamentals in a spelling bee, dude. Like, if you had to put me up there in front of that shit, I'd be like, all right, let's see how F U
That's it.
N D H.
He's like, actually, no, that is wrong. Stupid.
We were hoping so long that this guy just goes far in the bracket since they couldn't change it. The bracket was finalized, so they couldn't even fix the fucking name.
Dude, he got third.
He got third.
Oh, holy fuck.
And so everybody just thought I'm fucking like there was a whole sect of Twitter that just thinks I'm fucking nasty at Street Fighter right now.
You should put on your Twitter, best Street Fighter player in New Jersey.
I should totally do that.
And have like their your pin tweet that picture of you in the bracket.
But who do you play in Street Fighter, David?
Just say Chun-Li. Just say Chun-Li.
Luigi?
Batman? He's in Street Fighter, right?
Homelander? I'm better. So yeah, that was the shenanigans that happened at that tournament. That was funny as hell. What I'm actually nasty at is HDR though. I got third at Kingdom last night. For that game, I fuck with. Please, for the love of Christ, nerf Duck Hunt. That game is gonna die if you don't do anything about that fucking character. Actually cheats.
Have they been patching Smash at all? Like
No.
Recently?
I said HDR.
Oh, okay.
That's like that's the mod that we have. Like, that grew a bit of a scene.
I thought
in Trash
HDR
Day.
was like a tournament name, or like the name.
No.
of a tournament. Okay,
It sounds like one, but it's not. It's literally like a completely different game. Like it's a mod of Smash Ultimate.
Gotcha.
That
Okay.
I just enjoy way more because the movement's better and you actually have options off of platforms and shit. And I just don't care to improve at Ultimate and all that stuff. Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Duck Hunt is really broken in that game for really stupid, dumb, goddamn reasons.
Please
yeah.
fix. Please
fix. Yeah. So, another good way to improve at fighting games, which you normally would be able to do, is check out some of the subreddits for them. But you can't.
I heard
That shit exploded.
Yeah, so as for anyone who don't know currently, there is a site-wide Reddit protest where thousands of subreddits have essentially gone
85% of them.
85% of them. I don't even know if any of the porns have done
No,
it as
some
well.
of it's gone. Some of it's gone. Like a lot of
really?
Yeah, a lot of my favorites.
No, my porn!
A lot of my favorite subreddits, dude.
Damn, I just screamed that out loud. My porn!
My brand.
I bet my neighbors fucking heard that. But yeah, so basically
They probably, I don't even know if there's, you know that you have a girlfriend or not. They'd be like, get laid, you jackass.
Get laid, you fucking virgin. But
stupid jackass.
so this protest has been going on for a while. I mean, well, they said it was supposed to be for 48 hours, so I don't even know if they even
went back on that. A lot of
Oh.
subreddits are saying they're going dark indefinitely until Reddit backs out of
with
this
the
API
API
shit.
costs and such. Yep.
Yeah, which is the reason that they're doing it. It's a little
Yeah.
complicated, but basically Reddit's just being mad greedy and like they're
And they
raising
also
the
were
cost
caught
of like
lying.
yeah, they
'Cause-
also were caught lying. Basically, they're raising the prices of their API because a lot of people, a lot of subredditors or a lot of Reddit mods utilize a third-party API to like host their subreddits and whatnot.
Well, they also for the tools as well that they're using.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the main things.
Reddit wants you to exclusively use theirs.
Yep.
And charge you stupid money for it and whatnot. Because they think people are just getting to the point where they're so addicted to social media that they'll pay for it. Look at Elon trying to monetize Twitter, and we literally mock anyone and everybody who pays for Twitter. Like, we fucking laugh at those people, straight up.
I actually heard something that made me really think. It was that Reddit and a lot of these big tech companies, or like these big tech, or like kind of these websites, they thought that they were too big to fail. And another thing that I heard as well, this is also from Linus, like from Wancho, which is like the podcast that he does. And one thing that he did mention that I didn't realize, but at the very least, like now that I thought about it, I'm like, wow, like it actually makes a lot of sense. A lot of the shit that people make off of tech is not profitable. It's just not. It's a gigantic money sink at the end of the day. And like the upkeep is insane if you really look into it. It's like you are burning billions of dollars and almost getting no returns back off of it. And it's the reason why that Twitch will, and also, you know, again, like we're not gonna really we're not gonna try to go into it too much because like if we do, then it's supposed to be like, this is gonna be like a huge ass episode. But basically, we all know what basically Twitch is trying to do.
Sum it up as much as we can in 10 minutes.
Yeah. But like, you know, we all know kind of what Twitch is doing at the moment, and I almost, from a financial standpoint, I can understand why they're doing what they're doing, which is essentially like saying like, hey, when it comes to ads, we only want you to run our ads because we're losing money because everyone who's basically using like third party to host their ads, we're getting no cut of it. So we want to monetize that. But yeah, go ahead.
Twitch actually claims they went back on that because of the backlash that they were getting online and on Twitter and stuff like that. But if you actually look at their terms of service, they like didn't change anything. Like they are fucking falling apart, and apparently the company culture there is very bad too, which does not surprise me at all, considering I genuinely believe that organization is ran by simps.
Yeah, but, I was about to say. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can tell me that how much why I hate simps. It's not because I hate women. It's because it leads to toxic ass behavior. Yeah, it leads to toxic ass behavior. Thank you for helping me with that. But yeah, a lot of them are just doing that shit. Twitch, Twitter, Reddit. You know,
maybe YouTube's next. We don't know, but
no, I think YouTube is one of that would be the one I'd be the most sad about, like for sure. But YouTube, I genuinely think is going to be fine because they're actually backed by Google and like financially backed by Google.
So they are too big to fail then.
Twitch is backed by Amazon, but Amazon like doesn't give them shit, and like the cost of running like live streaming is apparently like way more expensive than because they are using
AWS as well at the end of the day. So like all their backend is all Amazon, and at the very least, it's like they're also still paying for that to use their fucking infrastructure. So it's like, you know, it's just, at least for Twitch, again, financially speaking, I know what they're doing is scummy. I kind of get where they're coming from, but it's like, look, I didn't realize it, but yeah, virtually a lot of shit that like is ran or made on the internet is not profitable. Or at the very least, it's like it is more of a money sink than anything. And Twitch and even Reddit is no fucking different. And then there even was a little thing where Linus was saying where like his for his own brand, he has his own forum that he runs that is hosted by him. Like it's literally Linus Tech Tips, and it's like basically, you know, those old like forum pages that we used to go on about like anything and everything. And you know, people like he was even saying that like, you know, oh, like, you know, why don't you go and like kind of just take this down and like just kind of go, because he had a subreddit that had about like 1 million people, but you know, he basically said no. Why would I want to do that? Because you know, he likes, and I think I could agree with this too. Like, and I'm no Linus Tech Tips or anything, but it's like I could agree with what he said, where he said exclusivity and like this is my own community, and like I want to keep it, and I want to look at it, and like I want it where I could see it, not on a third-party platform that like I'm at the mercy of. And not to mention even moderation is also another topic where like obviously the bigger the community is, the more mods you kind of need. And for at least Reddit, they never really did a good job moderating. Period. They just never did. It was never like a big fucking goal of theirs. And a lot of communities kind of suffered because of that. And now with this protest, I thought, and even some, I think some like Business Insider like article was even saying like one of the guys was like basically talking about how like, oh, okay, like yeah, like this protest is like Reddit will take a bit of a hit, but like, you know, the 48 hours once it's up, like it's not gonna mean anything in the end. And little did they know that virtually a good chunk of the people who were protesting are now saying, fuck this website and it can go die. And
I think they realized as they deserve.
Reddit deserves.
I think they realized what you just said. Like straight up. I think they realized like, yeah, this 48-hour protest isn't going to do anything. Most people don't even know what an API is. I mean, I'm not a tech person. I don't even understand that shit, but I understand why they're protesting at least. You got to admit though, 85% of them going dark. Reddit is this is a little different than some of those other like website protests. Reddit is a top 10 most visited website.
Yeah.
Like universally, like worldwide.
Worldwide, internationally, yeah.
That is kind of huge, and not just for the people who aren't going to be able to look up like their particular fetishes and like the best parts of the internet for that, like myself, which is actually pretty good because I'm actually kind of happy about it. Because now, like, I'm not gonna wind up,
I deleted Reddit off my phone!
Dude,
I feel so free!
Me too, dude. Like, I'm not gonna wind up, like, scrolling through, like, all, like, the ratchet-ass, like, fistfights that make it to the front page.
Like, r/WorldStar.
Like, constantly showcasing the worst of what humanity has to offer on a daily basis when I was just looking for a fucking nut. It's like, that's actually good. I'm not gonna lie, like, maybe I'll actually, like, spend less time on that now, as, like, weird of an excuse it is now to not do that necessarily, but, yeah, I'm hoping that, I'm hoping that that's the case, man, like, I'm hoping
I hope
Reddit
it goes under. I hope it does.
I don't know, man. Like, I remember we had a discussion as to which website was more toxic, Twitter or Reddit, and we concluded at the time that it was Twitter, which I think it is, yeah, because Reddit at least has, like, specific, like, subreddits that you... Yeah, Reddit at least has specific subreddits you can go to where, like, you can, like, learn a skill or something like that if you don't have, like, resources by it near you, or if you want to join a community of, like, gamers or, like... woodmakers,
e-girls,
anything really
to your heart's desire.
Twitter is just fucking like very gay for doomsday, if that makes any sense. Like the slightest thing happens and they're like, we're all fucked, blah blah blah. And Reddit can
or
be
if
the
anyone
same
does
way
anything
as well.
out of line, we gotta correct it. We have to like basically show him who's boss. We gotta cancel the shit out of him, even if we don't have all of the information out there. Like we're gonna just go off of whatever minuscule grams that we have and just completely body this person and just kind of like cancel him out of life itself.
Like Twitter is where nuance goes to die, basically, and so Reddit, you can it's at least capable of having like intelligent conversations with random ass people.
Reddit can be just as autistic as Twitter.
You can absolutely.
Yeah, like I don't think. Now after this, like this whole shutdown has nothing to do with the communities, but it's just like every social media platform is as capable of being as autistic as the other. It's just not like a mutually exclusive thing depending on which one you're on. It really isn't. And every platform or community, or even like I guess more specifically like a platform, like every platform has its idiots. And like the idiots are always are the most vocal ones out of all of you. And even if you're just like a regular user who like goes to Reddit to check like, oh, your cat videos or like your funny memes and, you know, porn, like there's always these fucking idiots who like are always just gonna be screaming at the top of their lungs of like this, that, or whatever, and like they're gonna be the ones that like get all the upvotes and get all the downvotes, and it's gonna be placed on controversial, and everyone's gonna be like trying to look for those because I think everyone's just kind of a whore for like controversy at this point. And like, not even because like, oh yeah, like, oh, what's their point? And like, let me see if I could like, let's say counter it. They just love to read controversy. That's all these platforms are at the end of the day.
I don't think people realize that like, you know, social media, people consider it a necessity nowadays, which at the end of the day, you know, it's a product made by a company. You know, like these people
whose bottom line is money.
Yeah.
Not for your well-being. It's for themselves. So keep that in mind.
Like just to keep you scrolling. Like the fundamental thing that Elon and like the new people that took over Twitter don't understand is that like the people who use it are not the customers. They are the product. Yeah. If that makes any sense. And now they're trying to make them be the customers by having people pay for Twitter. And much like music, when that shit went free illegally back in the Napster days, once they have something for free, not gonna want to pay for it.
Nope.
Afterwards. Yeah, it kind of makes you think, like, that's kind of part of why social media became, like, ingrained in society the way that it has. It's because it's also free. Like, I feel like if everybody had to pay for it, like, Facebook wouldn't be as big, Twitter wouldn't be as big.
The level of people would be better, in my opinion. I honestly believe that, like, because of the fact that it's free, there's just so much, like, room for all these stupid mouth breathers to, like, anyone with a pulse, or even with, like, a lukewarm IQ, could all just kind of go on there and just say all the dumb, stupid drivel that they want. And like, but the thing is because it is because it's free. And I honestly feel like if you had to pay, or if they like, because like a lot of these platforms are now slowly becoming a paid service, like, you know, Twitter, for example. It's not being done very well, but it's like it is. That's what it's slowly becoming. Like if you want to be like an influential person, like on Twitter, yeah, you have to pay. And for at least like Facebook and even others, it's like, you know, you don't have to pay shit, and you could be the most knuckle dragging fucking retard of the world, and you could post whatever the fuck you want, and there's no drawbacks or even any consequences to what you write. And again, because also nothing, it's free. And like, I think it's because of that it just leaves more room for more idiots to like kind of go and like use it for their own stupid purposes. But it's like, you know, I don't know, like I feel like truthfully, like Twitter does, like nobody really belongs on Twitter except like I guess actual influential people. But even then, I crossed that line. I would even say that line is also retarded, because it's like, you know, at the very least, it's like Twitter did at least start off as like, okay, if you're a famous person and you want to know what this famous person's doing, I mean, Facebook was the same way, but it's like, hey, Twitter is like more digestible than Facebook, because it's like, at least for tweets, it's like 150 characters, so you don't have to read that much because people are fucking that brain dead. But now it's like every mouth breather with a pulse like is on Twitter, and like anything that they say is like, you know, now like it's just so much more garbage that you have to sift through at the end of the day. And
kind of
like,
makes you think, like, the FCC, like, you know, regulates, like, stuff like television and whatnot, and in their attempts in the last couple of years, they've tried to do the same with the internet, which no one is down for obvious reasons.
No.
It's like, the internet, I feel like the internet, or, like, social media, is what the FCC was, like, sort of trying to prevent. Like,
it was
they were thinking,
the
like,
Wild West.
They were
at
thinking,
least
like,
they thought of it that way.
This is what the world would be like if everybody had access to, like, a television station. Everybody was able to be on television and, like, do their thing. Like, because not all you fucks are trustworthy. Obviously,
Yep.
like, that's just the way the world is, you know? And Twitter and, like, the internet is kind of, like, that's part of the reason it's changed the world so radically. It's because, like, okay, what if everybody, like, could be, like, a media personality? What if everybody could be, like, an influencer? What if everybody could be, like, this kind of, you know, just public face or public figure if they wanted to, because like everybody just has a way to just like delve out like their ideas here. I really do think that there is nothing that is more, and like at least in recent years, that has drastically changed the world like social media. And I just think it's interesting that like one of the absolute biggest ones is, you know, collapsing, and rightfully so. Like I hope this protest actually does do some good. I hope they're actually able to get what they want out of Reddit if Reddit eventually realizes their site is gonna crumple if they don't fucking give in to this kind of shit.
But I even feel like even if they do kind of like go and bring themselves to the negotiating table and say, hey, we're sorry, the trust is broken. And for a lot of these bigger like communities that are on there, they're saying fuck you and basically just leaving indefinitely. Like that's still like thing, even if it, like let's say it was like kind of 1 billion people who left the platform. I'd even like, if I was to just throw like a spitballing number, that's still like 400 million, let's say, that don't even want to come back. That's a huge fucking number at the end of the day.
They'd be able to sustain themselves though. Like where are they gonna go?
But that's what I mean.
To
Reddit,
another dying social platform in Twitter, you know?
Well,
I mean,
people can make shit all the time, but it's like now everyone kind of knows the lesson of like, hey, we just don't have to do what they did and we'll be fine. Because Reddit and what they did was extremely scummy. Even the fact that the CEO laughed and made a joke when he goes on an AMA and he got asked like, why are you doing this? And he basically kind of laughed it off.
yeah.
And like, how are you gonna do that to like all these people?
He
And
needs
just kind
to
of think like, oh, it's no big deal. Because I mean, again, they are all about their IPO right now. They were trying to go public, and for a lot of shareholders, and if I was one of them, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Dude, it's the same short-sightedness that, like, oil companies have with, like, climate change. Or, like, or that, you know, like, business tech people or whatever have with, like, keeping their businesses afloat or whatever. They're thinking so short-term because of the greed, not realizing that this greed is going to be the downfall of what you even need or what you stand for.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see why I made like the oil company climate change allegory there, or analogy there, because it's the same thing. They're so greedy that they're trying to squeeze out every bit of money while they can. The Twitch people know that company's fucked. They're just trying to milk as much of like the ad revenue like from their Twitch streamers as they possibly can on the way out.
Until they leave. Yeah.
They know they're not going to fix that, because what Bezos doesn't want to dump his money into it, and even if he does, that's not going to magically make Twitch profitable. It's not like he's going to be able to get a return on that investment, or the money is going to be worth it. That would just be something out of the goodness of his heart, and he's a fucking multi-billionaire. The world's first... No, he's not a trillionaire yet.
He's getting there.
He's getting there. He's like literally the world's richest man. He doesn't have the heart to do that, you know what I mean? That's how short-sighted these people are. Just because they have all this money and that they're business people, that doesn't mean they're smart, and it doesn't mean they're... it doesn't mean they always make, like, the best decisions. Some of them are just fucking idiots. Like, you know, same thing with like Elon and Zuckerberg and all these people who just wound up fucking someone else over to be able to get to the top of where they are, yet they're considered geniuses by the dumbass tech bros who will kiss the fucking cocks and just like lick the fucking boots that they walk on and shit.
I think it's
you
a
see
little
what
different,
I mean?
though. Like, his level of supporters have gone down, though.
Yeah, but you see what I
Yeah.
mean, though. Like, these companies are trying to squeeze everything they can out of, like, their user base because they think, oh, we're too big to fail, and you fuckers are so addicted to social media that
Yeah, but
you'll
little do
wind
they
up
know.
paying for Twitter. You'll wind up paying for Reddit.
Little did
all
they
this
know.
stuff. Not realizing that they're not the fucking
They're not infallible.
customer, they're the product, and you're not infallible. And this short-sightedness of greed is the biblical, poetic chef's kiss as to what's going to bring you down. There was a time when MySpace ruled the world. Y'all remember that? And
Tumblr was also at its
we-
peak as well back then.
Yep, and boom, got rid of porn over fucking night. OnlyFans tried to get rid of porn. We never meant to be a porn platform. Over fucking night. Stock price, backed off that decision.
And it went back up.
You need to realize that just because, like, you tech bros, like, intended for your company to become something, you're putting it on the internet where your user base is your company. They eventually decide what it is. It's kind of like analogous with, like, you know, like somebody creating a show and then somebody trying to go in a complete different direction with it. Like, the creator wants to go in a complete different direction. The user base hates it. Yeah, it's your show. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. Doesn't mean people are going to like it, and now your show is going to fail because of it, because it is now ours as much as it is yours. On an existential stand, you can give something to the world. You know, that's the actual, like, difference you can make. But nope, just money, fucking money. Gotta squeeze as much as I fucking possibly can out of it, because I realized even though I can do some good things with this shit, it's not profitable at the end of the day.
Yep. And the greed has just increased since then, too. Like,
Idiots.
and I think now,
And it's like, how much
maybe
more fucking money do you fucking need, man? That's the worst part of it
going
all.
off of that, right? Like, I'm really thinking, too, like, is this now gonna be, like, maybe not. I'm being a little too optimistic, but I'm like, is this gonna be the wake-up call that a lot of these fucking idiots, like, at these corporations are gonna, like, finally, like, understand now that, okay, like, we've poked the rabbit in the cage enough. Like, at the very least, like, we now know that, like, nothing good comes out of it. But I also feel it's like, look, you already shot yourself in the foot, at least specifically talking about Twitch. You've already shot yourself in the foot with all your bullshit. And now you're trying to get people to come back. Or at the very least, like, when that time comes, a lot of them won't come back.
There is literally no reason to exclusively
There is no reason
exclusively stream on Twitch anymore. There is absolutely no reason.
Go to YouTube.
And by the way, you can't even do that anymore. Ninja no longer streams on Twitch, because if he wanted to stream on Twitch, he has to exclusively stream on that. He's not a partner or an affiliate with Twitch anymore, because now he can't stream on any other platforms. So monetarily, he's like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lose out on all this money just so I can take the revenue split from Twitch, which is worse than it's ever been. They reduced it down to 50-50 when half of every single sub already goes directly to Bezos. Like, what is the fucking... Twitch does not want to exist.
No.
Like, this, I swear to God, the decisions they're making, they just want it to die. Which is, I've been saying Twitch is a shit platform for years, which is why I'm so happy that company is starting to die and more people are starting to realize it's not shit. And because it's had esports by the balls for years. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's had esports by the balls for fucking years, and it doesn't deserve it no more. Yeah. I'm just saying, man. MySpace ruled the world once, and I'm sure some companies learn from their mistakes. So to answer your question, Dennis, is if these companies are finally going to realize it, some will, some won't.
But it'll also be too late, even if they do.
And the ones that won't will be replaced. And then, like, there'll be whole new companies that'll eventually become these new social media platforms. Look at TikTok, came out of fucking nowhere and, like, became what it is, replacing Vine effectively from an outside country. And then those companies will eventually make their own mistakes. The culture will change again.
Yep.
That company will die. And then a new one will come and be like, we're not going to do what those people did. No. We are the user. We are the user. Social media.
Until they aren't. It's a cycle. It is what it is. It's just a cycle.
It's a vicious cycle. I eat because I'm unhappy. And I'm unhappy because I eat. There you go.
I'm fat because I'm unhappy, and I'm unhappy because I'm fat.
So me and Dennis, we're on the fence. We support these people for what their cause is, but we also want our porn back.
I mean, I'm alright.
And I think that's all that matters at the end of the day, Dennis.
Porn?
Yes.
Porn.
And the friends we made along the way.
And the friends we jerked off along the way.
Yes. Good night, everybody. Here's our plugs. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
Check out our Reddit.
No, we don't have one, and now we actually probably can't.
We can never have one now.
Yeah. I don't even want to think about the cesspool of toxic subsicity that fucking Double D Experience subreddit would become.
What, like the 3-4 people that would just be saying like horrible racist jokes?
Yeah. They'd give us a bad name, Dennis.
Like they would be so toxic that we would be on the top 10 most toxic subreddits even with only 4 users.
And it would get us good publicity.
Yeah, it would.
We'd be like, what's this podcast? Then it blows up overnight because all the other subreddits are gone.
We will come and take over. We will come and take over Reddit.
We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Also at youtube.com/Nintoonist. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you thought of this episode and all that good stuff. Follow us on Twitter at DoubleDPod and on Instagram at the Double D Experience 21. We're done. I'm gonna chop this podcast up into itty bitty bits and just see where it takes me from there. Come check out our subreddit r/DDE, where you'll find all kinds of wacky fun. Wait. r/DDE. There is one. God damn it! Subreddit for the YouTube channel Daily Driven Exotics and all related activities. Boo! DDE Farm. I just got a rare picture of Hyper NFT, the mystery man of y'all who have been wondering who he is. What are the top posts on this before we go? On r/DDE. Come check out my awesome Ferrari that is totally not a rental. Yeah, here we go. Finish DDE's Ferrari Twin Turbo F12. How'd you like the new 720 GTR project? Yeah, it's just a bunch of like really expensive looking cars. Yeah. And then that one post about NFTs. and then at the top, like some sort of weird vertical video on some guy's ultra wide. All right, we're done. It's going on too long, and I'm sweaty, and I gotta edit this. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I don't. Why are you still? You're still here? Go. Go check out your Reddits. Oh wait.